to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss. And I just hope you guys been watching me Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and just been catching my episodes and all the wonderful guests that I've been interviewing. And you can see me on CaribVision. We're in 28 different countries, including the UK. And we're also on BellFibe in Canada, channels 658. You can get that. And then we're through the US on various different channels on CaribVision, BellFibe, and you can get it through all the various internet cable through the States. And if you missed that, then you can also go to my YouTube channel, which is DBoss Networks, and you subscribe, share, and all the nice stuff you have to do. And you can just watch everything and all the guests that I've interviewed at your own leisure and time. All right, so I hope everybody's doing their laughing tips, because we're doing your 15 minutes. And yes, everybody knows we're getting into the season where you don't want to feel so happy, but you have to be happy. Do your 15 minutes and releases all those endorphins in your body. It also makes you feel better. It keeps your blood pressure down. If you don't have anybody to laugh with, you could just phone somebody, put something funny on that you know that you would laugh at, and you could do that. And also you can or you can sign up for laughing classes. Yes, they do have it. And you sometimes just want to keep your abs toned. Yes, I'm not telling you don't go to the gym, but just keep everything in form. All right. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to hear something from Vital Fit, from one of the sponsors, and she's going to tell us all about healthy snacking. And then I'll be right back with my next guest.
Welcome to your vital steps to better health and fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today, we're talking about exercise snacking. It's a fantastic way to fit exercise into your busy schedule. Exercise snacking is about taking small bites of exercise throughout the day. And it could look like this: anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes of movement in some way, shape, or form is an exercise snack. You can, instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs up a flight. Or you can go for a brisk walk for 5 minutes. If you're watching TV, you can sit down and do some stretches, or sit and stand to work those legs. When you're at work, do some stretches at the desk. All of that is exercise snacking. The beauty is it does not require a membership, and neither do you need equipment. So take advantage of those small pockets of time that you have throughout the day to do some form of movement. You'll feel great. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your vital steps to better health and fitness. See you next time.
Thank you, Joanne James, for that. I'm telling you, and healthy snacking doesn't mean everybody can go in and cook some food and all that. That's not what she's saying. What she's saying is, if you've been sitting for a long time at your office watching something, get up and do some type of movement to keep the circulation going. So that's what she means. So, healthy snacking, yes, you can eat healthy, but this is not about that. It's not about eating. So if everybody could just take note with that. But anyways, we're going to introduce here the next guest. And, it's two people, but we're going to have 2 in 1 today, meaning that he's going to represent the other person. It's Dr. Roy Cape, and they know him as Pappy. And Mikhail Gibbings, the director and the cinematographer, is going to talk to us about iconography. But anyways, he's going to tell me the right pronunciation of it. So anyways, here we go. Here's Mikhail.
Hi, how you going, boss?
I'm good. Oh my gosh, I probably dissected the name of the, the movie.
That's no trouble at all. So it's a series called Iconography. So it's a documentary series that we do on legends from the Caribbean, creative legends who existed in a time before they had widespread access to video content and that sort of thing. So all those legends that you grew up hearing about from the 90s, 80s, 70s, and backwards, we just simply don't have a lot of recorded material of them talking. We have no idea what their story sounds like coming from them. So, before it's too late, I started off in music. I think we wanted to create a singular space where we could kind of host all that kind of thing. So it's iconography.
Iconography. Okay, well, here at Real Life Matters, we like to know everybody's culture and where they come from, their background.
Oh, absolutely. So my name is Mikhail. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm from CaribVision, Trinidad and Tobago. And
Woo! Tell people that exact spot, people. That's great.
And also a lot of family from Jamaica and all over the Caribbean. Thankfully, like every Caribbean person, my family is everywhere. So the Caribbean is my home, but Trinidad is where I live.
TNT. So all the carnival and all that stuff happens there.
Oh yeah. We had a nice one this year.
It was a nice one.
Oh yeah, great stuff. We were finally back after obviously a long COVID restricted stretch. So back on the road, and next year coming fast.
Well, that's on the road. I want to come anyway. So okay, so tell us a little bit about Dr. They call him Pappy. Tell us about him or where he comes from.
I cannot claim to represent both of us. With all the respect, I feel it a lot. He is a great legend that I grew up looking up to, because I started off in music myself. I'm a jazz guitarist, and I play a lot of stuff like that. So he was somebody I looked up to for a very, very long time. Dr. Roy Cape is a band leader and saxophonist, and is the leader of one of the most important Caribbean instrumental groups that's ever existed, the Roy Cape All Stars. He's from Trinidad. He's one of the kindest, most philanthropic people you will ever meet, and coming from a time where it was maybe even more difficult to be that kind of person, because obviously there were a lot of hardships that to overcome, and like to emerge from that with the generosity and gentleness that you really just wouldn't expect from somebody from that time is tremendous. He's a tremendous person. So we did a full documentary of his life as narrated by him, and yeah, so it's from his mouth directly, and we got to sit down and have some really, really lovely long conversations and dig through all of the the decades and decades and decades of archives that he had left behind, and truly a tremendous talent.
So your role in this, I guess the cinema, you had to dig through that with him.
So I would say I directed the piece and did the cinematography on the piece. Tanika Mohammed, however, our editor and producer, one of our editors and producer, and our only producer, I have to give all the credit for digging through all that archival material and staying up in the National Archives every single day, going through newspaper after newspaper, talking to every single person who knew anything about Dr. Roy Cape. She did it. She tracked down all. So anything that you see in our film is going to come directly from Tanika Mohammed. She deserves all the credit for that.
Okay. So how long did it take you? Go ahead.
So I also did the piece along with co-creator Dr. Aviel Scanterbury, who is a prodigal jazz panist and just a panist in general, a pan arranger, and musicologist in his own right, honestly.
Okay. So how long did it take you guys to put this together?
Months. I mean, this is one of those projects that takes a lot of obviously initial research and a lot of deep digging. We thankfully, because we've been playing music in Trinidad for a reasonable amount of time, knew how to get in contact with Dr. Cape and get those initial conversations going. But from shooting to when it finally came out, we had our premiere locally in Central Bank in Trinidad and Tobago, and it took maybe 6 to 8 months to really get the entire film together. But it's a concept that we had been working on for a number of years.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, I know a lot of people with their music and also their, the film writing, some of them have these ideas, and then to put them into, the actual, to see it come to light in a film or a production and a docu-series, it's really, that's something to see.
Yeah,
So,
we are lucky enough to exist in a time that the access to this sort of thing is finally something that people who are, from different socioeconomic backgrounds can actually afford to get involved in a significant way and build an audience with nothing, starting from absolutely nothing. We can I and any other young people who have a camera or phone or anything like that could jump into this industry and find a audience and a stream of income that supports them and make the things that they could only dream about. Like only a decade ago, these things just would not have been possible, and we're lucky enough to exist in a time that it is.
well, and they chose you for the project.
Well, thankfully, I actually run my own production studio, Pomegranate Studios Limited. So we wrote and we actually are a completely independent film studio. We are like tied to anybody, so we get to come up with our own ideas and make them ourselves.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna look at this little bit of a trailer that you got that you sent a teaser. It's not a I guess it is, yeah. I guess say a trailer teaser. It's say both. All right. So we're gonna look at this and then we're gonna come right back with it. All right.
Roy is a enigma, you know.
You see, you know how people who you just gravitate to? He has one of those personalities.
I don't know what to say because all I know is he loves some music.
They always say Roy is the nicest fella.
Every time I speak to Roy, I wish I had a camera and a microphone. Every time I speak to him.
It's 80. Not 10, though. 80.
Wow. And you can hear the Trinidadian from Trinidad. You didn't even change your voice. You just whoa, that's it, you're getting it.
A real Trinidadian.
And you got that. And and it's good. So people are where is it releasing? Is it releasing here in Toronto, or is it releasing in Trinidad, or has it already been released?
So we're currently doing our international premiere at Caribbean Tales right now. We are premiering tomorrow is our first big screening. So as much as possible, try to make it there for that first one. It's a story that is for us is really important because when we came up with this idea, we had a list of names that we wanted to do these kinds of pieces on because they are people who we looked up to growing up, and everybody in Trinidad and a lot of people across the Caribbean know these people's names. They've heard about them since they were little children, but we genuinely don't have any space that archives their stories as told by them. And so it's one of the few instances that I have to say that like we managed to have a conversation with somebody who the likes of which we may never see again. Okay. And we thankfully this is a series, so we've gotten to continue doing this sort of thing. The first version of this that we did was with Robert Monroe, who was a local quattroist, quattro 4-string parang instrument. Lovely thing, and somebody who everybody knows about, but we never knew where they came from. It's and as time goes on, as we see like more and more legends pass, and we get to look back and see their news articles and listen to their music, but their stories coming from a place like this and navigating the obstacles and hurdles that we have to navigate to become creatives and operate and work in a space like this is one of the more important stories that I think that a Caribbean person could hear. It was at least I can say it was very important for me to hear his story and be able to kind of relate it back to, if we got to this stage, it is because people like him drew the roadmap.
Wow. So what's up next? Is he gonna do a continuation after this one, or he's gonna do a different project, or?
So actually, we reached out to Dr. Cape to do this to do the documentary. So we are doing the series is gonna feature a lot of different Caribbean and local legends. So we have one carded who we're currently in production with right now, and very soon we'll actually be able to tell you who it is. But he's it's a tremendous piece as it's gone so far. Really, really, really excited about the next story.
I hate that when they don't tell you. But anyways, you guys gotta come back. You gotta come back and let us know so we can play it and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, look, and next time we really have to get to Toronto. Right? The fact that we aren't there right now is unfortunately I have a production, and we're working on so many different things at the same time. Just didn't quite come through this time, but we will see you next time for sure.
You're gonna have a good time. We'll come. You're gonna have a good time. All right. So, are there any shout outs that you guys want to give to your sponsors or people that helped you guys put this production on?
Absolutely. I mean, NGC, National Gas Company in Trinidad and Tobago, have sponsored so many of our projects and been so absolutely kind to us at so many different levels in a way that is really kind of unseen in the Caribbean. We are young people who are just hosting our own independent content and generating stuff as young independent filmmakers, and we're not coming. We don't have the right last names or any of the pre-expected credentials that you would expect to go along with these things. I went to film school and we studied this, and we've gotten pretty good at it. But let's just say, like, they didn't have a lot of reasons to do this except for seeing our content, and we really appreciate that coming from an organization like them. I also want to say thank you to the rest of the crew who made this whole thing possible. Aviel Canterbury, interviewer, co-creator, Tanika Mohammed, archivist and editor and producer. None of these things would be possible without them. We all did about the same amount of work to get this thing done, and it's really a team effort that I'm glad came together. And most importantly, thank you so much to Dr. Roy Cape and his family for allowing us to do this piece and trusting us to do a piece like this, because we looked up to him as children. When we got to do an interview with him, it was one of those moments where you sit down in that chair and you're talking to Roy Cape and you're like, this is where my life took me. And it's a really magical experience that we got to do this.
Okay. All right. So if people want to follow and buy tickets and stuff, can you give people their social medias and the handles and stuff?
Yeah, so for any more information about the premiere, obviously you could go to Caribbean Tales, but also check us out at Pomegranate Studios Limited. So that we are at Pomegranate Studios TT on all social media platforms. You could be able to check us POMEGRANATE, Pomegranate Studios Limited.
Well, it's a bit of a hard one if people can't spell pomegranate.
Or you could also search us up on Iconography, which is just in that picture I see right below here. So you can give us a look. Search at Iconography.
And then it'll come up. Okay.
Yes, at Iconography series.
Well, Mikhail, it's been a pleasure having you on here and, representing, Dr. Roy Cape. And, that's something, and I know you guys feel proud. And your country feels proud, Trinidad and Tobago, because you're bringing his story out to the world globally. So
I know, and we're so glad and so lucky that we got the opportunity to do it.
Yes, and you guys got to come back when you come back with the series, so we can see a little bit more of it.
Absolutely, so. Yeah. And you all have to look out for that next one.
Don't be shy. Just reach out and say something like, "I need to come back." Because people, that way we could follow up and keep followed up with you, okay?
All right. We know we're going right back to DBoss, so no problem.
All right. So I do want to thank the viewers for tuning in tonight here with Mikhail and, with the Iconography series. It's going to be a series, but it hasn't come out yet. So anyways, follow him. You guys go see it. Take the time to look at it. Take the time, support. That's what the key is. Support and look and see what everybody's doing, not just the regular filmmakers. You got to go to the other ones. All right. So good night, everybody, and bye for now.
Bye.